You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. All right, we are a nation in crisis right now. And there was a big happening today in regards to the arrest of Donald Trump. And, you know, we've been talking about the arrest of Donald Trump and how disgusting this is and how this is the moment that Donald Trump is charged, we have officially become a banana republic. That will be a moment in history where the United States has become officially and openly a banana republic. But there was a big happening today, and this one, you guys listening to the program, I really very much want to hear your comments. Leave them leave your thoughts in the comments on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Ron DeSantis was asked today what he would do and what his thoughts were on the arrest of Donald Trump. I'm going to play this for you uninterrupted, and then we're going to talk about it. It's hard to play it uninterrupted because I'm really a little more than just a little disappointed in Governor DeSantis. Here we go.
Be involved in this. I have no interest in getting involved in some type of manufactured circus by some Soros DA. Okay, he's trying to do a political spectacle. He's trying to virtue signal for his base. I've got real issues I got to deal with here in the state of Florida. We're obviously shutting down CBDC, which is important. We've got so many things pending in front of the legislature. I've got to spend my time on issues that actually matter to people. I can't spend my time worrying about things of that nature. So we're not going to be involved in it in any way. I'm fighting for Floridians, and I'm fighting back against Biden. That's what I do every single day.
Okay.
I told you he wasn't going to get involved.
This is very troubling, and I want to share some thoughts with you on this. And we waited a while to do the podcast, a little later than we normally would wait. Later in the day than we would normally do the podcast, because I wanted to see if Ron DeSantis, after this came out and there was reaction to it, would update it, which he has not done. I want to go to the end of it, okay, and then we'll start from there.
I can't spend my time worrying about things of that nature. So we're not going to be involved in it in any way. I'm fighting for Floridians, and I'm fighting back against Biden. That's what I do every single day.
Okay. Donald Trump is a Floridian. He's a Florida resident.
That's true.
This mass migration to Florida is in very large part because of Donald Trump. And taking this outside the realm of Donald Trump, okay, what Bragg is doing under the orders of George Soros, okay, what Bragg is doing is attempting to use the power of his office to kidnap a Floridian from Florida and transport them to New York. And let me tell you something. They might not require bail for people that commit big crimes up there in New York. They're not going to let Trump just walk out, okay? When they bring him in and they fingerprint him, they get the mugshot, they put him up in front of some liberal arraigning judge, and they're not going to just say, okay, you can go back to Florida now. They're not going to let that happen, or you can go to Trump Tower. They're going to hold him. They're going to hold him. Even if it's one night, they're going to put him in a jail cell.
Yep.
Okay, because
you're going to give him the full treatment.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm very disappointed in Governor DeSantis here. And you guys, let me know what you think about this, because I want to be wrong about this. I do want to. He's our governor. We love Ron DeSantis. We're Floridians. You guys know all this. This is very upsetting. Okay, but what I would like to have heard from Ron DeSantis is some of what he said about a Soros prosecutor misusing their office, and I will not allow him to abuse and illegally use his authority to kidnap a resident of the state of Florida and transport them to another state. This will not be allowed, what he is doing. I didn't hear any of that. What I heard him say is, Trump, you're on your own, buddy.
Here's the deal.
Is that what it sounded like to you?
Absolutely. And I knew he wouldn't do anything. But I was thinking about it today. And I don't agree with him not doing anything, but Trump has done nothing but insult DeSantis for the last 6 months, basically called him a groomer, said very nasty things. Why would he help him? I mean, he's probably thinking, screw him. I mean, all he's been doing is maligning my name. This is what I get frustrated with Trump, is he creates these political enemies sometimes for no reason. And then when he wants their help, they're not going to help him. Mm-hmm. He's kind of making it really hard for these people to help him. I think if he had never insulted DeSantis, if he played nice and waited until he announced or waited till the right time, maybe this would have a different outcome. But because he has publicly said things about him, and I don't care, that's going to bother anybody. And I'm sure it pisses DeSantis off. He posted that picture of supposedly him with teenagers drinking at a party and basically called him a groomer and all this stuff. DeSantis, I mean, his thinking is, why should I help this guy? I mean, I'm not excusing it, Kathy, but I'm saying that's where he's coming from.
What DeSantis said there is, I'm going to stay out of it, and you can just take a Floridian and do this illegally. If Ron DeSantis, okay, just let me clarify here.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I disagree with everything you said.
Of course.
But I just want to clarify what DeSantis can do here, okay? When a prosecutor in another state has an arrest warrant out for someone, the governor of the state that person is in, and DeSantis can do this, can call for their own investigation into these charges to find out what's going on here.
Yeah, but he's not going to do that.
If Ron DeSantis, and I'll throw this out to you guys, and you can let me know what you think about this. If Ron DeSantis does what he says, nothing, and allows Bragg to kidnap a Floridian and transport them and imprison them in New York City, he's no better than Bragg at that point.
I agree.
He's
playing along.
It's not. I don't like him because he said some things about me, so Bragg can arrest him.
I agree with you.
That's corruption.
Just saying that I agree with you. He's part of the problem.
That's corruption.
He's playing along with them, and he's a coward.
Now, President Trump has responded to Ron DeSantis on Truth Social.
Oh, I'm sure this is good.
And I'm going to share this with you, okay? He has posted once again the photograph of Ron DeSantis with the girls from high school, okay? And on top of the picture, President Trump put this on True Social.
It's just making it worse.
Well, Ron DeSanctimonious will probably find out about false accusations and fake stories sometime in the future.
That's true.
As he gets older, wiser, and better known.
That's true.
When he's unfairly and illegally attacked by a woman, even classmates that are underage or possibly a man, I'm sure he'll want to fight these misfits just like I do. So that's true. What Trump is saying here, this is beautiful stuff.
Because DeSantis said, I don't know anything about paying anybody off.
So Ron DeSantis is in a photograph with these girls that got their boobs all up against him and everything.
Yeah, that's definitely him.
I don't care if they're 18. They're still the high school girls.
Yeah.
And what President Trump is saying is that these girls could come forward and say anything.
And they will, I'm sure.
And it would be believed by people in the media because he's a Republican.
That's right.
And I think President Trump's post on Truth Social is a very good one. Now, I got to tell you guys, I don't like saying anything negative about Ron DeSantis. It pains me to do this. But I cannot believe that that everyone listening to this program who's a MAGA person. And I know some people, there are Republicans that are ex-MAGA now. I'm coming across, I shouldn't say ex-MAGA. They're MAGA, but they're DeSantis people, not Trump people. I know there's I'm meeting more and more people like that. I'm hearing from people like that. That's not me. I'm with Trump, baby, okay? But even if you're a DeSantis supporter, even if you're someone who says, okay, it's time for a new generation and all this stuff, okay, you got to admit, what Ron DeSantis said there is not right.
No, I agree. Right. I feel like he's playing along. But like I said, he's waiting for Trump to be imprisoned or indicted or whatever to announce his presidency. He has every intention of running. And because he's been insulting him, he's not in any hurry to help this guy. I think he should rise above it. I agree. He would not be in his governor position without Trump.
Nope.
That's for sure. I think he owes him, regardless of what Trump has said about him. But I'm just saying Trump is not doing himself any favors by preemptively insulting him so much for the last few months. But DeSantis should do the right thing.
Yeah.
But like I said yesterday, he won't do it. And because he wants to run, and he's another one who wants Trump out of the way. I mean, this helps him. He is weighing the pros and cons of this. He clearly is in with the Bushes. We know that, and with the deep state. And they all want Trump gone and out of the way. And they want him to run. And this is part of that plan.
So when this DeSantis comment came out, a lot of people are upset about it. I'm upset about it. I know you guys are too.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Bannon had Mike Lindell on. And Steve Bannon and Mike Lindell are very upset with Governor DeSantis. Let me play this. This is just a clip of their exchange. It went on for quite some time. This is Steve Bannon with Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow.
Governor DeSantis, you're better than this. That was a weasel approach, and don't throw in the thing about the porn star. I don't need to hear it from you, okay? Don't need to hear it, okay? Mike Lindell.
Well, first of all, DeSantis is the Trojan horse we thought he was. I just want to put that out there, how disgusting he is. If they arrest our great President Donald Trump, hands down, he wins the 2024 election.
He'll win it from jail.
That's nuts.
This is not. They're talking about RICO charges in Georgia now. Like he's a mobster.
Right. Oh yeah, this is going to be a big snowball now.
I remember when George Soros first started backing these prosecutors around the country. I don't know. This was maybe 15 years ago now when he first started doing this. And everyone talked about what a bad idea this was. And look what's happening. We've got these George Soros-backed prosecutors in two different areas of the country, the South, the deep South of Georgia, and up in New York City. And look at what they're doing. George Soros is using these prosecutors to bring down and imprison a president of the United States of America.
And the problem is the Republicans, like DeSantis, are letting this happen. And the reason DeSantis, I know they have personal things, and I'm not saying that should be his reason for not helping. Move on beyond that
right now.
There's other things more important right now than personal attacks. And DeSantis needs to he obviously acknowledges this is a witch hunt funded by Soros. He's acknowledging that, but he's trivializing it and acting like it's something that he shouldn't be involved in. He's above it. But he needs to do what's right for the country. But he's making it about him and his future.
Yeah.
And that's why he's making the decision he's making. And I think he's making a colossal mistake.
It's short-sighted.
It is.
It's short-sighted because President Trump is right on the money with that photograph, and when they're going to come after him one day. Right now,
he's right about that.
They don't want to go after him right now because he could help them by by making it easier for them to snatch President Trump and transport him to New York. This is insane. I was watching one of the fake news outlets today. I can't remember if it was MSNBC or CNN or something on you. I can't remember, but they were talking about whether or not they'll handcuff President Trump or not.
Wow.
I want to go back to this. I remember a lot of you at the time said something to me when I had an opinion on this. When everyone was talking about locking up,
I'm sure they will handcuff.
Yeah. When everyone was talking about locking up Hillary Clinton, I said you don't want to do that. If you start arresting, even though they're criminals, first ladies, okay, and presidential candidates and presidents. They'll arrest Trump. They'll arrest Melania. They'll arrest Barron and Eric and Don Jr. and Kim Guilfoyle and Ivanka and Jared and all the rest. Okay, and they're going for the arrest of Trump anyway. But once they set up a precedent of arresting a president or a presidential candidate, we're in a place in this country we don't want to be. And I know when it comes to the Clintons, people said no one's above the law, and I said this is a dangerous precedent, and this is. I would not even arrest Biden. Okay, now that doesn't mean I wouldn't take his money away from him that he illegally collected and make him live at his house in Delaware and all of that stuff. Because I know that sounds crazy to people. Why would you not arrest Biden? Because I don't want to live in a country where we're arresting presidents of the United States because it's a very dangerous thing, and it takes. We'll be no better than the narco government of Mexico if they do this to Donald Trump.
Well, I think that ship has sailed. So I think we are in that place. And like I said, these people have put a lot of time, energy, and thought and into this, and they are not going to let this go till they get satisfaction. I mean, that's just the way it is. They're not going to leave this man alone until they see him behind bars. I mean, that has been their ultimate goal collectively, not just on the left. The reason nobody is coming to Trump's defense on the right is because they want to see this happen too. They all want him to go away. And this is the only way they're going that in their mind that they're going to make this happen.
That's right.
And that's why DeSantis and none of these guys are going to do anything, but they're going to let it happen. They're going to let it happen and let it go on, process out.
Now, let me ask you this, Kathy. What out of all the ones we have, what is your favorite MyPillow product we have in the house?
Oh,
We've got everything. We've got the MyPillow 2.0s. We've got the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets.
They're my favorite, and the towels, because I change the linens every 3 or 4 days. I know people think that's nuts, but I do. I would do it every day if I could. And I changed them yesterday, and I put on the light blue. I have like 4 sets of sheets, and I put the light blue sheets on, and but
we have
always
6.
Great.
We have 4 regular and 2 flannel.
That's right. I forgot about that. And the sheets are always great, but I really love it when I put on the sheets when they're nice and clean right out of the dryer and the washer and dryer, and nice and soft, and they're always soft. And I went to bed last night. I was like, oh, these are the best sheets ever. They've just felt so good. Sometimes you have sheets and after a while they lose their softness or their thickness, or they feel hard on your body. And we've had our sheets for quite a while, and I wash them in sanitizing super hot water at least, once a week. And I got to tell you, they still feel amazing, just like the first time. And I really think those are my favorite. I just love the sheets.
Well,
the
MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets are buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane. And remember,
that's a great deal.
You can take advantage of all the specials at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane. What I like most about the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets is how the fitted sheet on the bottom, all 4 corners fit on the mattress perfectly.
Very nicely, and they go all the way down. It's very easy
even
to
with
make
the mattress
bed.
topper. And
if you have people, because I have a hard time making the bed I used to, right? And our old sheets, they would start to shrink, and it was so hard to get that fitted sheet on. And no matter how much I wash these sheets, they don't lose their shape. They don't shrink. If you have anybody in your life that has arthritis, or an elderly person or disabled like me, and they have a hard time making the bed, these are the perfect sheets. They go on, and they fit nice and snug, but they go on so easily. It's really amazing how they fit the mattress absolutely perfectly.
So the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, buy one set, get a second set free. And remember, when you got to use our promo code Kane, Kane. When you use our promo code Kane, Kane at checkout, of course, you're supporting our program. And, of course, all the other content I bring to you, right? My YouTube channel, the radio show, the podcast, everything. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Life can be tough. It's full of trials and tribulations, and sometimes it's hard to find the strength to keep going. But what if I told you that these challenges could lead to great blessings? Author Tyler Osborne knows this firsthand. He's been through some of the darkest days, and yet he's come out on the other side stronger and more blessed than ever before. Tyler's new book, Broken to Be Blessed, is now available on Amazon. In it, the author shares his personal journey from rock bottom to a life filled with hope, happiness, and success. Tyler's story will inspire you to keep going, even when times are tough. You'll learn how to turn your struggles into opportunities and come out on top. So if you're feeling broken, lost, or in need of a little inspiration, check out Broken to Be Blessed from author Tyler Osborne on Amazon. It's the book that will help you turn your trials into triumphs. Broken to Be Blessed, available now on Amazon. Get your copy today and start your journey towards a blessed life. Are you tired of bad hair days? Or are you struggling with hair loss? Ready to Hair Wigs has the perfect solution for you. Their faux human hair wigs are made with the best Japanese synthetic fibers, ensuring a natural look and feel. They come in different lengths, colors, and styles. They can even be cut to fit your desired style. Plus, they're ready to wear right out of the box. If you want to change up your look, Ready to Hair Wigs are perfect for that too. Use them as an outfit accessory and take your style to the next level. The wigs are heat resistant, resistant, which means you can style them to your heart's content without worrying about damage. Ready-to-hair wigs believe that every woman deserves to feel confident and classy, no matter what. That's why they offer their wigs at affordable prices. So head over to readytohairwigs.com. That's READY, the number 2, HAIRWIGS, readytohairwigs.com. Find them on Instagram and Facebook at readytohair_wigs. Start your wig journey today. readytohairwigs.com. Are you a mom or know a mom who deserves something special? Show off your mom style with fun t-shirts from Bat Mom Shop. Bat Mom Shop is stocked with a wide range of t-shirts for all kinds of moms, from hot moms to sports moms, Christmas moms to Halloween moms, dog moms, cat moms, funny moms, American moms, and that's just the beginning. There's something for every mom at Bat Mom Shop. All the designs are printed on premium ultra soft tees with worldwide shipping straight to any mom. They make great gifts too, to show appreciation for your mom. So whether you're a mom looking to treat yourself, a dad searching for that perfect gift, or just looking for something special to give your mom, check out Bat Mom Shop on redbubble.com. You can also find them on Instagram at bat.m0m. Start shopping right now.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. All right, so the big question, is Trump going to be arrested? When? Is it going to be tomorrow? Well, they're preparing in New York. Listen to this. The New York City police began installing barriers today around the courthouse in Manhattan, where Donald Trump is expected to be arrested this week. President Trump announced over the weekend he expects to be arrested this week as a grand jury prepares to hear from the final witness in an investigation in the hush money paid to Stormy Daniels. So that was today. It could, and we haven't heard from what has happened with that yet. So while Trump's team spent the weekend preparing its strategy to handle the latest legal twist, New York police and the mayor's top public safety aides met to discuss how to handle protest. It comes amid online chatter suggesting armed protesters could try to prevent law enforcement officers from arresting Trump. Where is that at? That's insane.
So how is this going to work if the grand jury recommends arresting Trump over this? I'm assuming he will go willingly. They'll what do they issue an actual warrant?
Well, I wouldn't be so sure he'll go willingly because he's in a different state.
His lawyer said he would.
He would have to waive extradition. He could challenge extradition to New York.
I'm sure he would. And then how would that work?
No one knows. A president of the United States has not been arrested before, except in movies.
What movie?
Where presidents have been overthrown. At what movie? What a movie, TV show, 24. And there was a season of 24 where the president was evil, and he was helping these Chechen terrorists do something to help him politically, and he got busted. And what they did to save the nation is didn't tell the nation about it. They didn't tell the nation what he did. And they sentenced him to house arrest for the rest of his life, but they didn't tell because how divisive it would be to the country if they knew
He said on the radio this morning that he might go to Rikers.
That's where they take people that are arrested in New York, Rikers Island. Yeah.
I just can't. But they'll see this through. I read this article. DeSantis said something that really pissed me off.
Come on, Gov.
He's a native Floridian like me.
Oh, yeah, this is very weird.
And that is nothing to be ashamed of. Florida's a great place with great people. Okay,
I'm not a native Floridian.
I was born in Orlando, and then I moved to Plantation, Florida when I was 6 months old with my family. So I'm born and raised. Our daughter is a native Floridian, too. Born in Miami. But DeSantis, who's a Florida native, too, he grew up in DeLand, which is kind of near Tampa. Or not DeLand, Dunedin. I think there's a lot of small towns.
Mm-hmm.
But he says that his that his parents' geographical background has had more of an influence over him than where he grew up. Culturally, my upbringing reflected the working class communities in Western Pennsylvania and Ohio, from weekly church attendance to the expectation that one would earn his keep. This made me God-fearing, hardworking, and American-loving. He claims that his geographical background has had more of an influence over him than his actual where he grew up. And a lot of people...
Isn't that weird?
He's saying I was I'm confused what he says here. Hold on. He said, I was geographically raised in Tampa, but culturally, my upbringing reflects the working class communities in Pennsylvania and Ohio. So geographically, he grew up in Tampa, but culturally, he's Pennsylvanian and Ohioan, which are two very important states. He sounds like Biden. This is the kind of crap Biden says when he says
what he's doing.
I mean, that is such pandering.
He's sucking up for primaries and stuff up there.
I was geographically raised in Tampa, but culturally,
that's
that is such an insult to Florida.
This is what they do.
Floridians.
It's like my dad was born in Memphis, Tennessee, and I've been to Tennessee. It would be like me saying, because I was born in Ohio, I grew up here in Florida, and saying, I grew up in Florida. But man, that Tennessee, that's where my heart is, and that's where my values go. It's like what you're talking about with Biden. It's like Biden with Scranton.
But this is worse because Biden at least lived in Scranton.
It's weird.
For 8 years.
It's
DeSantis
weird.
has lived in Florida his whole life, went to school. He went to Harvard, but he went to high school in Florida. It's such an insult to Floridians to say something like that geographically he's grew up here, but culturally, like, we're not cultured people.
Because they have polls that are saying that he's not as popular outside of Florida as he is in Florida.
He's getting too much advice from the Bushes.
Yes.
And whoever. It's a really bad idea. But let me tell you, I think if he ever runs for president, I don't think he's going to win his home state.
Florida?
And that'll sink him. After this insult, you don't think Floridians are going to be insulted by this?
Well,
of course they are.
He's
like saying we're white trash.
When Ron DeSantis said Bragg could come to Florida and arrest Donald Trump and he's going to stay out of it, if that were to happen, is Ron DeSantis would lose the Florida primary
plus
as
this
the
on
sitting
top
governor.
Of it. This is adding insult to injury.
He wouldn't be
saying that he doesn't culturally relate to Floridians. What a crappy thing to say for the governor of Florida who grew up here.
Isn't it weird?
I think it's such a weird thing to say.
It is weird.
I've never heard a politician say that. I'm culturally, that's like if I said, I grew up in Florida geographically, but I'm culturally Canadian.
Yeah.
Because my mom's Canadian.
And, one thing.
Sounds ridiculous.
One of the things I've liked about DeSantis is he's a native Floridian good old boy.
Well, he's ashamed of his Florida roots, apparently.
When I first came to Florida, I moved here when I was 11, and it was 1982. And things are there's been a lot of migration to Florida since then. But back then, there were a lot more native Floridians from the old times than there are today. And I remember seeing people, they would have like these license plates on the front of their cars, because in Florida, we only have Florida plates on the back. So you can put anything on the front of the car. And people would have these license plates, and they would say native Floridian or semi-native. I don't know if you remember those, Kathy. I
remember the native.
Yeah, there were a lot of people, people that were native Floridians. It was a big deal. They'd be like, I'm a native Floridian. You're a Yankee.
He's basically saying that Floridians aren't hardworking, church-going, God-fearing people.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets those values from Ohio and Pennsylvania, where his parents are from. That's just bizarre, and I think it's so insulting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really fallen short of what we thought of him,
and
unfortunately.
Pennsylvania gave us Fetterman, so I don't want those kind of values, frankly.
Exactly.
So now there's an update here. Listen to this. Donald Trump. It says here. He was afraid Melania would dump him. Donald Trump paid off Stormy Daniels.
Yes, I read this.
To prevent his wife from finding out details of cheating claims as it's revealed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, first off, Donald Trump did not pay off Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels came to Michael Cohen, and I remember this as clear as day. When this story first broke, it came out that Michael Cohen paid her. He didn't tell Trump. And he actually paid her with his own money. Now, Donald Trump did pay him back down the road, and that came out in the court case and all that stuff.
And then she ended up owing him money.
But,
she owes Trump $300,000.
She had to pay Trump's legal fees. But, that was a lot, $130,000, a lot of money to Michael Cohen. Trump paid him back. I don't understand. If you go to someone and say, pay me $130,000 or I'm going to go to the press and destroy your reputation, that's blackmail.
It was right before the election.
Yes, but that's blackmail, which is a crime. Like, remember there was a guy who got arrested who did that to David Letterman, right? When you blackmail someone, you're committing a crime. I have never heard in my life of a blackmailing victim, someone who's the victim of an extortion racket, being called a criminal before.
But we still don't know what he is being charged. I think you said something about using campaign funds.
That's a rumor. We don't know.
So we still don't know exactly.
But the problem with that, Kathy, is that would probably be a federal crime. Bragg's a local prosecutor.
Right.
So I don't know. No, we don't know yet. I don't think Bragg knows. See, the thing about it is, and a lot of people don't get this.
It's crazy.
Because they said, well, Trump's committed no crime. That is correct. But Bragg doesn't care about a conviction. He wants the arrest, the extradition, the mugshot, the jail cell. Right. Remember,
they want those visuals.
Peter Navarro, on the program. I've interviewed him a few times, works with Trump. He got arrested, right? Remember what they did? They put him in leg irons and they put him in the cell that they held John Hinckley in when he got arrested.
Yeah.
And they really...
And believe me, they'll have photographers there getting pictures of every
Look what they did to
moment.
Roger Stone, right?
Yeah.
The CNN raid of Roger Stone's house here in Florida. They're going to do a similar thing with Trump. They're going to humiliate him.
Yep.
And they think he deserves it. They don't care if they don't get a conviction.
They don't care if they're right or wrong. They've convinced themselves that this is for the greater good. And
that's correct.
And I told you yesterday, they think that we're drinking the Kool-Aid and he's like a Jim Jones, David Koresh type, and that we're just under his spell. And it's their job to break that spell and free us from his hold. That is what they really believe, that we're just being manipulated by him. And if they can just get him out of the way, that we'll wake up out of this Trump coma that we're in.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen.
What, you're saying we're in a Trump coma?
If I'm in a coma for Trump, that's a good coma.
Derangement coma.
I don't. If you want to say I'm in a Trump coma, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
It's insane what's happening. So I wonder if he's worried tonight. I mean, he's not that far from us. I've been praying for him. I wonder if he's worried about tomorrow. And it's got to be. He's human. I mean, he's got to be a little concerned about getting arrested and getting strip searched and going through all this.
And these things are leaking out. Listen to this. If President Trump is indicted for his role in a hush money payment to a porn star, the former president will be treated like any other suspect. He'll be read his Miranda rights, fingerprinted, and pose for a mugshot. He may be handcuffed.
Oh, my gosh.
Trump will likely be spared a perp walk. Are you kidding me?
I don't think so.
They're going to perp walk him.
They did it to Manafort.
Exactly, they're going to perp walk him.
They're going to do the whole 9 yards.
Instead, he will likely walk in wearing a suit and tie, surrounded by aides and Secret Service. He could make a deal with prosecutors to come in via back entrance. Are you kidding me?
So if he goes to jail, does he get Secret Service protection in jail?
He has Secret Service protection for life.
That's crazy.
Bragg is not going to go through all this and say, "Oh, come in the back door so you're not embarrassed." He's going to have him come through the front door. This is nuts. And so far as
it is.
Now, by the way, they threw this in. He'll be the first president arrested since Ulysses S. Grant was pulled over for speeding in his horse and buggy in D.C.
Wow.
And he was let go with a fine. Really? Ulysses S. Grant had a drinking problem. He's probably tanked. He was driving the buggy drunk. Was that a crime? I don't know.
Call that not a I guess a DUI. Yeah, I wonder if they had a name for it.
Driving a buggy under the influence. I mean, give me a break. See, the reason that story is he got pulled over for a ticket, and he was probably drunk, so they held him there till somebody came to take the president
he sobered
home.
up. That's all.
But you notice what they're doing? They're saying, "Oh, there was a president arrested before, Ulysses S. Grant, who won the Civil War. So it was good enough for Ulysses S. Grant. Why not this? No one's above the law." That you see what they're doing? I've never even heard that story before.
No,
it sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know if I've even heard that story before. And if I heard it, I never heard the part with arrest in it with Ulysses S. Grant. But now they're telling us that, that's just how it's done.
Yeah, they don't want you to think that this is like unheard of.
Yeah.
Like to reduce the, the impact of this, like, oh no, like you said, like it can happen. They're really disgraceful.
And what's crazy is we currently have a president who's a criminal. I mean, look at, I want you guys to think about this. And I am so serious as a heart attack about all this stuff. Do me a favor, not after you're done listening to this program, okay? Get Miranda Devine's book, Laptop from Hell, the audiobook. It's better an audiobook. I got both. The audiobook, the guy that reads it's very good. He's very dramatic. So Trump is getting arrested, they're saying, for hush payments to Stormy Daniels. Joe Biden paid for Hunter's high-priced hookers. I can't remember if they were Ukrainian or Russian in Beverly Hills. And if you
with
guys,
Biden's credit card,
there was,
he paid for a hooker.
Not just once. What happened with
that's not a crime
with Hunter, and this is detailed in Laptop from Hell. It's amazing. The hooker was there at that Beverly Hills hotel with Hunter, and he used Joe Biden's credit card, and the charge wasn't going through. He put the charge through like 5 times. So Joe Biden paid for this prostitute like 5 times, tens of thousands of dollars. And
wow,
the Biden team got notified. Hunter got woken up by 2 guys that worked for his dad. One was a former head of the United States Secret Service they sent to the hotel to take care of this. So here you've got Joe Biden paid for Hunter's prostitutes. I think it was $25,000 he paid. That's okay. Oh, that's just Joe. Here you have Trump, who did not pay Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen did. He was the victim of Hunter had sex with that hooker, okay, that Joe Biden paid for. Trump didn't pay Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen did. And Trump is a victim of a blackmail operation, and he's getting arrested. Why isn't Biden getting arrested for paying for that hooker $25,000, or it was around that, on his credit card, for Hunter? First off, who pays for their son's hookers? That's sick enough.
This is what worries me is this is happening in New York, which is full of liberals.
Oh, yes.
Obama appointed judges. And I know people have said you can indict a ham sandwich. Yeah, but you can indict a president too, apparently.
Well, this is not a ham sandwich. This is the great President Trump.
Exactly. And that when you say that, you're trivializing what's going on here. And you shouldn't do that. This is real. It's happening. And you're dealing with a city that's very liberal and very corrupt. And he's not going to get a fair. It's not fair now what's happening.
No.
So why do you think that when they get him in there, it's going to be more fair?
Exactly.
I mean, the whole process that's going on is bad. So, once they get him in their clutches, you think they're going to all of a sudden have a come to Jesus moment and be like, oh, we're sorry. Of course not. They're going to see this through.
I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I'm like in shock that this is happening. I mean, this is the last time I felt this way, and this will seem trivial in comparison, was when OJ didn't show up when he was supposed to surrender, and they had that press conference. OJ Simpson is now a fugitive from justice. Remember that press conference? That was crazy. I kind of feel that way. Now, I want to welcome 2 new Patreon supporters to the program. I want to welcome Arctic Fox and B. Rennie. 2 new Patreon supporters to the program. Welcome to the mix. And don't forget, you Patreon supporters, you new Patreon supporters, take advantage of all those perks and benefits of becoming a Patreon supporter, including access to commercial-free editions of each and every podcast episode. And also, one of those benefits for our top Patreon supporters is you get a live on-air shout-out on each and every podcast episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Rome, Wisconsin, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, and Arctic Fox. Our latest top Patreon supporter, welcome all. to becoming a Patreon supporter. Now, if
And
you would,
John, you forgot John.
oh, I forgot John. Hey, John, I'm sorry. You're still tops, man. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day.
Yes.
You know, I've been going for like the last 16 hours, and I still got to edit this podcast and upload and everything. So I'm kind of on I'm on fumes. If you would like to become a supporter of the program and become a patron, there's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening to us on. There's a direct link on my website, briancraigshow.com, and the direct website address is patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. Patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. All right, now we're going to take a break. When we get back, oh boy, there was a big mess with Jean-Pierre at the White House press briefing today. It got really crazy and out of hand. We're going to get into all of that when we get back. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be back right after this.
Are you searching for something in your life, but can't seem to pinpoint what it is? The Seventh Sense from author Julie LeBraden, available now on Amazon, could be the answer you're looking for. Join Diego as he embarks on a journey of self-discovery and liberation in a dystopian world where every form of human expression is taboo. In this thought-provoking novel, the author's writing explores the consequences of progress on society and emphasizes the importance of embracing life's full spectrum with themes of freedom, human consciousness, and emotional intelligence explored through a prism of neurodiversity. The Seventh Sense challenges readers to break free from the constraints of a regulated society and discover the kaleidoscopic facets of human experience. Order your copy of The Seventh Sense today and awaken your sense of liberation. The Seventh Sense from author Julie LeBraden, available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. Order your copy right now. Attention all crypto investors and NFT collectors. Help make a positive impact on our environment with the Save Your Rhinos NFT collection. Brought to you by New Verse Center. New Verse Center is an established environmental company using Web3 technology. They're focused on contributing to environmentally friendly and humanitarian-focused projects. They are working to provide support to stop the poaching and habitat destruction of rhinos. The Save Your Rhinos NFT collection is your key to enter the New Verse ecosystem and enjoy the benefits they provide for creators in the arts, business, and technology fields, all while doing their part to creating a healthy environment. Don't miss your chance. Grab a Save Your Rhinos NFT and visit newversecenter.com to learn more. newversecenter.com. Have you ever said to yourself, I can't work and deal with home? Or, that manager's crazy. I'm not doing that. How about this one? These late hours are so stressful. Does anyone else's spouse do this? If you've had any of these thoughts, yep, we hear you. Tune into the Coffee with Christopher podcast on Spotify. Host Christopher Gentry and his guest open up about their unique experiences with work and in life and share the lessons they've learned along the way. Each episode feels like a heart-to-heart conversation, over coffee, of course. If you're ready to connect with the community of people sharing compelling stories, join Coffee with Christopher on Spotify and discover the power of sharing your story.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. So Jean-Pierre at the White House press briefing today was a big, important press briefing. They had the cast of Ted Lasso there. And I want to tell you this about Ted Lasso. I watched the first season, and it was good. It was good. It was on Apple TV. The second season was awful. I couldn't get through the episodes. It was terrible, you know. But season 3 has just debuted. And, you know, let's not forget Palestine, Ohio. People were poisoned by that train derailment. How many Americans left behind in Afghanistan? They're about to arrest a president of the United States. Our border has collapsed. You know all the problems, right? And they have time to bring the cast of Ted Lasso.
I don't understand why they do that in these press briefings.
Democrats love celebrities.
But why is this? Why does the cast of Ted Lasso think this is a good PR move?
To hang around with Biden because they're liberal jerks.
It's not a show about the press.
Well, the guy that
a show in England about soccer or football.
It's on Apple TV. It's on Apple TV.
So, but it's not a show like, about the news. It's not like that show with Jennifer Aniston about the news.
It's almost like they paid someone to get, I know.
Of course they did.
President Trump had celebrities come to the White House, right? Kanye and Kim Kardashian, not together. But they had purposes. Kim Kardashian.
I don't know about Kanye.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian got that lady out of prison.
Yeah, she was working on that.
Okay. And Kanye is trying to free black people from the Democrat plantation. And that was amazing. That was an amazing moment. But anyway.
I'm not going to defend Kanye.
So the cast of Ted Lasso, for some reason, are at the White House during all these crises we have going on. I mean, it's just insane and stupid. They look stupid up there. And the guy that plays Ted Lasso, remember he served his wife divorce papers like when she was on stage somewhere? He's a great guy.
Yeah. Olivia, I can't remember her name now. The girl from Tron.
Yeah, she's in the new Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, what kind of guy does that? I mean, what a weirdo he is. So there's a reporter from an African news outlet who gets upset with Jean-Pierre because he never gets called on because she doesn't care about him. So I want to play this exchange, and it goes on for a while, but this is great stuff. And notice how you'll hear towards the middle and end, the White House press corps, whose mission is to hold the politicians accountable. Look at how they circle their wagons to protect Jean-Pierre from being asked questions and interrupting the big news story of the day that the cast of Ted Lasso was at the White House to promote the premiere of season 3. I was going to watch season 3 of Ted Lasso to see if they improved it.
The whole country's coming up.
But I'm not going to watch it now.
No, I don't.
I'm not going to watch it now. After this, they must have felt really stupid up there.
I probably not.
Yeah. Well, listen. Okay. So Jean-Pierre, she has a meltdown at this guy. Listen to this.
No, that's not. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
From across the room, you've been discriminating against me and discriminating against some people in the briefing room. And I'm saying that this is the U.S. This is not China. This is not Russia.
This is not Russia. This is not China. This is the U.S.
This is not Russia.
Okay.
What you are doing, you are making a mockery of the first American. It's been 7 months. You've not called on me. You've not my messages. I'm saying that's not right. That's not right.
Fun times. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the press briefing room. Okay.
This is not right. Sure, let it go.
Are you ready? Are we going to behave?
And notice no one from the press stands up for this guy who's never been called on.
Yeah.
They stand up for her promoting the cast of Ted Lasso.
You can't keep discriminating against some people in the briefing room because you don't like them, you don't like them.
So you have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice.
A number of people in the briefing room, and I'm saying that that's not right. This is not China. This is not Russia. This is the United States. This is the White House.
Wow, did you hear her scream out?
Oh my gosh.
Jean-Pierre screamed, ah!
That's professional.
Yeah, isn't she great?
This is not China. This is not Russia. This is the United States. This is the White House. It's been 7 months. I sent you
The rest of us are here too, pal.
It's been 7 months. You guys have not done.
The guy that's calling him pal is a member of the media.
If you have grievances, you should bring them to her later.
I have done that. I have done that. All my emails.
This is for the press corps to ask questions of the
How much
cast
you want
of
to
Ted
bet
Lasso.
that guy will not be there tomorrow?
Yeah.
And the press corps is tired of dealing with this.
It isn't just about you,
I understand
Simon.
that you get questioned all the time and you don't understand what it is to sit here for 8 months and being discriminated against. I understand that you're in the front row and you feel
You're a scoundrel.
you get questioned all the time. But there are people in the back who don't get any questions.
Don't make assumptions about what the rest of us do. Mind your manners when you're in here. If you have a problem, you bring it up afterwards. But you
See, the reason I'm playing this is it's not just because it's fun, okay? See how the press are protecting the White House and Jean-Pierre?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be asking tough questions and getting to the bottom of things.
Protecting him as a journalist.
Exactly. Yeah.
don't make assumptions about what the rest of us do. Mind your manners when you're in here. If you have a problem, you bring it up afterwards. But you are intentional.
He just told a black man to sit down and dribble. This white liberal reporter.
Yeah.
On everybody in here who's only trying to do their job.
Okay, Thank you. I'm saying that you shouldn't discriminate against some people because you don't agree with their question. You're offended by your question.
We all heard it. All right. Guys, as you all know, many of you know, this is the White House press briefing room, a historic room, a room that should have decorum, a room where folks should respect their colleagues and respect the guests that are here. And I understand that there's going to be give and take. That's the way the press briefing has gone for decades before me. And I will always, always respect that. But what I will not appreciate is disrespecting your colleagues and disrespecting guests who are here to talk, who were here to talk about an incredibly important issue, which is mental health. And what has just occurred this last 10, 15 minutes is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. So we're either going to continue the briefing or we can just end the briefing right here. No. Okay.
Hear the press? No. We really, they're there to talk about mental. The cast of Ted Lasso was there to promote season 3 of Ted Lasso.
I don't know
Apple
what they
TV.
have to do with mental health.
They threw mental health in so they could have an excuse to bring him to the White House.
That's ridiculous. I've seen that show. There's nothing about mental health. It's a silly show.
Yeah.
It's a comedy. It's not a serious drama about mental illness.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my goodness. Exactly. They're pathetic.
Yeah. Oh, you sent me the story about Ron DeSantis. I know we did this a lot. I got to read this to you again.
It's crazy.
Kathy just texted me this story that she went through last. This is Ron DeSantis. I was geographically raised in Tampa Bay, DeSantis writes in his new memoir. I only got to page 80 something in that because I was so upset. But culturally, my upbringing reflected the working class communities of Western Pennsylvania and Northeast Ohio, from weekly church attendance to the expectation that one would earn his keep. Let me tell you. Florida.
That is so insulting to Floridians.
Florida, when people come to Florida, most people go to, Disney World or a beach. Those are just two small parts of Florida. People that live in Florida we don't go to the beach because we have to work and we don't have time to go to the beach. People in Florida are very hardworking people who have a very strong work ethic. Also, a lot of Florida is outside of the fancy areas that you guys know about. Florida is a big agricultural state.
There's a lot of small towns.
And
a lot of small towns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of small towns. And, another thing about Florida is because this isn't just a tourist economy. There's a big farming community. It's a big state. People that work in the hospitality industry, in the tourism industry, are hardworking people. People that work in hotels,
plus, Brian,
cruise ships,
another big industry
resorts
here
and restaurants.
Is the medical industry. A lot of elderly people live here. Like God, he called it God's waiting room, which a lot of people say is a joke. So many elderly live here. There's a huge business, medical, hospitals, and things like that, nursing homes. I just think what he said was obvious pandering. It was very insulting. And I think people won't forget that. That's an insult. That's a slap. An insult. That's a slap in the face. And we just elected this guy not too long ago in a landslide victory, and that's what he says.
Well,
I know.
He wasn't talking like that then.
I know he didn't maybe mean it as an insult. He's too busy pandering to these other states, Ohio and Pennsylvania. How convenient, Ohio and Pennsylvania. But it's an insult to Floridians, and he is a Floridian, and I'm insulted by it, and that really pisses me off. And I said to you the other day, if he ran again for governor, I don't know if I'd vote for him again because that really is insulting to me.
There was a meeting today between the Chinese president and Putin, and this is what he said. Right, the Chinese president warns China he's warning that China is ready to stand guard over world order after he holds a 4-hour meeting with Putin.
Oh my God, that's scary.
We don't want. We're the holders of world order. Okay, the United States, not China. China is a communist dictatorship, a police state. We're not. We're supposed to be a free democracy.
Yeah. After you just played that press conference thing.
And that's a scary transition.
That is
happening in this society, and that's a scary. there's so much scary news going on, and a major transition in our society is happening.
Well, the problem is, Brian, unlike during the Cold War, the leaders we have now are in bed with China. They're not America first.
They work for China.
I mean, at least during the Cold War, you felt like the people in charge of the government had America's best interest at heart.
They didn't work for the Soviet Union.
Exactly. They were fighting them.
And
on
if they
every
were
front.
found, and if they did, they were arrested and put in prison.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they had their priorities straight, but now our leaders are helping facilitate this transfer of power from us to China. That's why they're bringing in all the drugs. That's why they're creating. Now we know why they're creating such chaos.
Well,
because they want China to come in and say, "We're going to help." That's why they're buying up all the farmland.
All of you,
it's scary.
All of these warmongers we have about Ukraine against Russia. Russia's not alone. They got China behind them. Right? That's what this meeting was about today.
I mean, they've got their tentacles.
Yeah.
In all aspects of our life, truly.
Now, this really surprised me. We were talking last week. James O'Keefe has gone on to do his own thing now, right?
Yeah,
we were talking about this.
The O'Keefe Media Group.
Yeah, and I just got an email, because I guess I'm on the list from the O'Keefe days, a fundraising email from Project Veritas. It says here, "Dear Mr. Craig," what it says. "Over the past 2 weeks, Project Veritas began releasing undercover footage exposing multiple groomers indoctrinating children with LGBTQ plus curriculum." It goes on and on. And then they go on and ask about, if I can give them money. Project Veritas is done. I don't care what they report.
Oh, yeah.
They're done. And what they did to James O'Keefe is unforgivable.
Yeah.
And I expect them to do a lot of stories like this, really hardcore stuff, to give us what they think we want to hear. I don't support them financially anyway, in any way, shape, or form. But I'm not. That
was Project Veritas looking for money?
Yeah, I'm going to actually ask them to unsubscribe me from their email list.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And if any of you guys are subscribed, you should do the same thing.
Let me see if I can do it now, because I'll forget. I get so much junk email, but I don't mind getting. Yeah. Oh, there's an unsubscribe button. Okay. Oh, there's too many. There's too many things you got. I hate
I know
when you unsubscribe. And then on the unsubscribe thing, it's asking me for if I want to donate. There's a donate button as I'm unsubscribing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe if they wouldn't have gotten rid of James O'Keefe, they wouldn't have any money problems. Okay, I'm unsubscribed, I think. Oh, my goodness. I'm probably subscribed on more than one email address, though. Oh, my goodness. I'm not going to – it's crazy. After what they did, why would they think anyone would support them?
So on a little personal note, real quick before we go, our daughter turned 24 yesterday.
I know.
And – that's crazy. And, you start doing the math, and Brian said to me, in 24 more years, we'll be well into our 70s.
I'll be 75.
And Emily will be in 48 years old.
Yeah. She'll be younger than we are today.
In the same amount of time.
Yeah.
You start thinking in those terms as you get older, and I'll be, in 24, I'm 50, I'm almost 53. I'll be almost 77.
Yes, I was 27 when she was born, just about to turn 28. And you were 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So we were,
It's nuts. But she had a great birthday. She's in California. She went to Universal Nintendo Land with her friend, and she sent me some pictures. So if you're a Patreon, I posted one of those pictures up. I post some personal pictures up there if you're a Patreon supporter. And
I haven't even seen those pictures yet.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I'll have to become a Patreon supporter to see those pictures of my daughter.
I'm real proud of her. She's having a great time. Loves California, which I knew she would, and just having a lot of fun. So that was just her birthday yesterday. I did send her flowers, and we sent her a little money for her birthday, which was nice.
Yeah.
I think this is her first birthday away from home, isn't it? Maybe not.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah, she wasn't here on her birthday.
It's a little weird. I was a little sad.
Well, she was going to come here for her birthday, but
she was here about 3 weeks ago.
But to fly here during spring break is
it was like
crazy.
$600. So she's going to come in May.
Yeah,
but she was here about 3 to 4 weeks ago for the cruise. She was down for the cruise, right? And then she came home after. So that was in January. Then she came home after the beginning of March.
She's been flying home a lot.
So that was nice. So
Yeah.
we do see her quite a bit, but she'll be back in May, I guess. So, but I just want to say that.
Oh, I do want to say one thing about, I'm not going to get too much into this, but there was a big incident at spring break in Miami. I just remembered this.
Oh, yeah.
On South Beach.
I had the mayor of Miami Beach on the news saying they don't want spring breakers anymore.
Okay,
They don't want them.
I'm going to tell you this a little bit about spring break in Miami Beach. And this happened in South Beach, okay? If you're a tourist coming to Florida, you really don't want to go to Miami. You don't want to go to South Beach. And, South Beach, when...
It's not like it used to be.
No, what it used to be like was supermodels and movie stars.
Yeah. Now it's all college kids, rowdy college kids.
Yeah, when I was in my early 20s, before I was married to Kathy, before I knew Kathy, me and my friends would go down to Miami Beach and South Beach and stay there for the weekends in hotel rooms and stuff and party down there, because you would go to nightclubs and there would be movie stars and things there. And the biggest thing ever happened to me, though, where I got to like hang out with like somebody, I know this doesn't sound like a big deal now, but it was then, is me and my friend were at a bar and Dennis Hopper was there. Mm-hmm. So we were all kind of hanging out with Dennis Hopper, drunk. Dennis Hopper, I know it sounds weak now, but he was big then. But you would see all kinds of movie stars and people down. That's when Johnny Versace was alive, and was down there. And if you come to vacation on Florida, don't go to Miami Beach.
Go to Fort Lauderdale.
Miami,
not during spring break.
No,
though.
Miami Beach is not a nice place to go any time of the year right now. No. And like you would go down there and like Gloria Estefan and people like that were like really there out to dinner, and you'd get to see them. They're just walking down the sidewalk.
No, it's changed. It's a bunch of rowdy young college and high school kids now.
In fact, remember that sad story last year where that real pretty girl from Right Side Broadcasting died?
Yeah.
She died at a party down on Miami Beach. Things are crazy down there, and tourists don't know, and they end up in places they shouldn't go. If you want us to go to a beach place, come to Fort Lauderdale or
Tampa. They say is nice now. There's a lot of nice places that you can go to other than Miami Beach in Florida. Fort Lauderdale's really pretty. Much calmer.
And Miami Beach is not good even when it's not. It used to be. And it's where they had all that Art Deco stuff. Yeah. And it's really gone. I went down there. The last time I went there was during COVID. And it was during the day. Our daughter was doing something in Miami. I drove her somewhere and I had a couple hours to kill. So I said, I'm going to go to South Beach and check it. I haven't been down there in a while. I was scared. Okay. And I'm a Floridian and I've been down there my whole week. So don't go to Miami Beach.
Yeah, they just
don't
had
go to
two
Miami
people
Beach.
Killed during spring break.
And it's not
That's
because
scary.
it's spring break. It's always bad down there.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how that happened, but it did.
My sister lives there, not Miami Beach. She lives in Coral
not far,
Gables.
Yeah, not far from there. No. But So, and I hate when I see bad news like that about
awful.
Florida. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We will talk to you next time.
Are you struggling to connect with your teen? Are you worried about the troubles your teen is facing in today's world? Don't miss out on the ultimate guide to faith-led parenting with the book from Script Seeds, Parenting Teens Through Faith, available on Amazon. Parenting Teens Through Faith is your essential handbook to raising confident, resilient, and empowered teenagers. This book provides practical advice for providing a strong, faith-based foundation for building character, virtues, and resilience in your teen. You'll also discover essential biblical principles for providing hope and confidence, no matter your faith background. Start building a stronger, more resilient family with Parenting Teens Through Faith, available in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover editions on Amazon. This book is perfect for church groups. Order your copy right now.